Hi, it's the Dumb Blonde again, and this message is to those of you who claim to hate our country, yet desperately want to be part of it. I call it wanting to fit in by not fitting in, and you know who you are. You want to be perceived as different than the majority of our group, but still want to be part of our group. If you didn't want to be part of our group and system, you'd leave us the hell alone. But you want to be part of our group because you know the good old US of A guarantees and provides your ultimate safety and existence as the best country on the planet. If you didn't, you'd leave. Instead, you choose to be part of our group, but childishly and foolishly believe if you act contrarian to the majority, you will be considered not part of the group. Wrong. You're still part of the group. You're the asshole part of the group. Your degradation of our country endangers the entire group, including your dumbasses. Like, for example, the majority of our group are grateful to live in the greatest society ever. So, to be oppositional, you become ingrates. And instead of accepting nothing's perfect, but at least in our country, we're allowed to, have a duty to make it better, you ingrates create false crises and then become victims of your own conspiratorial fantasies. You're like pathologically lying children with spontaneous replies to everything. You ingrates have no serious issues affecting your life in this country, like starvation or poverty or dictatorial and murderous regimes. And if you just thought you mean like George Bush, you are one of them. No, you ingrates, not like an unpopular but freely elected president of the United States in a democratic republic. I mean like the African Hutus that rape your 4-year-old baby in front of you, then cut off your husband's arms and legs, then rapes and eviscerates you in front of your 4-year-old, chops off yours and your husband's heads, puts them on sticks, shoves them in front of your 4-year-old baby, and leaves him to suffer the consequences. That kind of dictatorial and murderous regime. The real kind. If you can dare to spontaneously make a comparison between the United States of America and brutal regimes of third world countries savagely maiming and murdering innocents, you are so far gone and so much the victim of your own conspiratorial fantasies that you have no concept that the food you ate yesterday and were fortunate enough to eat today, that the iPod you listened to today and the news that you complain about hearing regarding our government ensures you are not even close to the level of the majority of suffering on this planet. You ingrates just can't stand the truth that there are real victims and real dictatorial governments out there for comparison because, it diminishes your sad sack bullshit. Most people on this planet have families, homes, and jobs just like you. American middle class ingrates, however, they'll have 2 cars and complain because only one is new. Most middle class families on this planet use mules or their backs and are, glad to have them. Most middle class families' closest emergency aid is 40 miles away. A hospital, 150 miles or more. Members of our group, they call an ambulance and they're in the hospital in minutes. And if they can't pay for it, their group's taxpayers will. And the lowest earning 40% of our group pays no federal taxes, but gets all the same benefits. What a shitty system, huh? American ingrates whine because they chose to carry $900 a month in credit card debt for shit they never earned or needed. And then they claim they can't pay $25 a month for their own child's health insurance? American ingrates scream war for oil, but they never stop using oil. Where do you think our group should get your oil from? I drive an electric car, they'll say. Yeah, because we forget how stupid ingrates are. Psst, ingrates, electricity, the majority of it is generated from oil. Ingrates also complain about our country's economy and oil companies ripping us off. Don't take my word for it here. This is from a Senegal newspaper for comparison. Quote, U.S. working men and women fretted when gas prices topped $3 a gallon this year. Here, in the capital of Senegal, gasoline costs $5.62 a gallon. Unlike the United States, we are not a rich nation. Imagine having to pay such an exorbitant price to fill up your tank, but in a country where per capita income is $849 a year. What were you American ingrates bitching about again? Oh, that's right. Americans are too fat and we must save them from shoving all the food in their faces. I'm sorry, but that's nowhere close to children starving to death, never having had one bite of solid food in their short lifetimes. Only American ingrates can claim too much food is a problem. Oh, and our leader is not a despot. Ask the victims of Idi Amin, Saddam Hussein, Hitler, or Mussolini. Oh, that's right, they're all dead, and you're not. Proof positive your whining is baseless and, well, trumped up at best. Ingrates have some insane desire to make the wealthiest, freest, most productive country in the world sound like we're in war-torn Poland under Nazi control. Only whining American ingrates can complain they have crappy health care, crappy freely elected government officials, crappy food, crappy jobs, crappy energy to use to power their new SUVs in the greatest country on the planet. Dear God, around the world, millions of people wake up literally not knowing if they will live, be killed, or watch their babies die. American ingrates will wake up knowing they will live and then complain about it. I hate my life. It sucks. I'm depressed. You know, ingrates claim, they like to believe other countries are just like the U.S., except they're much better since they have different languages and more interesting cultures. You know, if they really believe that, they'd move to those places, but they don't think that. They just say it to piss us off, to be different than the majority of the group, without thinking that, you know, it could all get us killed at the same time. That's because ingrates, in their opposition, believe retarded things like terrorists are just like us and deserve the same treatment as U.S. citizens. You know, waterboarding someone who sawed a U.S. citizen's head off for info is bad, but allowing our enemy who's threatened to annihilate our country, you know, giving them the right to free speech at our universities, that's good. You know, if all of you who hate our country, hate our government, hate your lives, hate your fat asses, hate being forced to use oil and pollute would leave our group, we would all be very happy. And if you're one of them, you'll immediately think, no, you leave. Well, that would just be stupid, wouldn't it? The majority of our group, well, we love it here. We love our lives. We love our country. We love our society, and we love our culture. You ingrates are the ones who claim to hate everything about us, so why be hypocrites and stick around, Because you're pitiful, that's why. You're pitiful and pathetic and want to be part of a group that you hate. A group that accepts you even though you hate it in return. You want to be an oppositional part of a group you hate and it isn't going to work anymore. You ingrates are as duplicitous as an atheist who must invoke the very God he is denying to explain his belief. Or as ridiculous as political correctness, which wants us to make our children feel ashamed for pointing out that a fat person is indeed fat. You ingrates want to be part of our group because the majority of us are the strength and courage that makes this country great. And courage, as Churchill noted, is rightly esteemed the first of all human qualities because it is the quality which ensures all others. You may be ingrates, but you ain't fools, are you? If you really hated us, you'd leave. And since you don't leave, you know you love us. So shut the fuck up, like you, Rosie. God, I don't know what someone put in your fat cells, but when did you become a civil engineer and metallurgist? Never has fire melted steel. Shut up, you stupid cow. I guess I-beams are natural formations. You know, those of you who are in the majority may think, well, just let them look foolish and weak. They're not hurting anybody. Hell, they're not even armed. And partially you're right. Looking weak and foolish is their personal problem. They're making you, me, and our country look weak and foolish is a big frickin' problem. These ingrates don't need to be shut up. They need to wake up and realize these are indeed dangerous and stressful times on this planet, but there's no place like home. And we don't crap in the living room. So the next time you catch an ingrate doing just that, make sure you rub his nose in it. Even if, no, especially if they're a celebrity. We have enough shit to deal with in life, and frankly, we don't need any more of theirs. That's it. Blonde out.